Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to address you. PUM Netherlands senior experts. I'm not a senior expert myself. I'm what they call the local representative, and a local representative specifically for Gauteng. I've got other colleagues in the country, for example, West Africa and the Western Cape. So if any one of you in the Western Cape wants to apply to PUM, Leslie Africa is your man. Akash Singh in KwaZulu-Natal. And there are a few others in the country. But yeah, we all basically work towards the same goal, and that is to make PUM Netherlands senior experts much better known to various industries in South Africa. And at the moment there's a specific focus on the mining, on the steel industry, the metals industry. So without further ado, let's how do we go down there? Yeah. Okay. It doesn't seem to respond to that part just now. I think it might just be, let's see it here for the next slide.
Yeah, that looks like it, Lee.
That looks a little bit more hopeful, but it doesn't do any. Here we go.
There we go. That's the video.
Okay. Alright. PUM Netherlands senior experts. It's an amazing consulting organization. And I just spoke to one of the people here present in Centon, and I said I think ours is the best value proposition that you probably get from any consulting organization. Anyone who would like to give you a better value proposition than we do would have to pay you for hiring them. The reason is that we offer our services for free. Sorry, there was a message there. John, please ask the gent to do what?
Stand closer to the mic.
Stand closer to the mic. Oh!
Speak louder. Right, let's try that.
Is the gent a little bit clearer to hear now? I hope so. It's now a bit awkward. Do I speak to the mic or do I speak to the audience of 20-something people here? Let's hope that it works. Otherwise, I believe it is being recorded and it will be available on your server. Yeah, so we have a phenomenal value proposition. We offer you...
have a little better thanks, so you're okay.
Oh, okay, cool. We offer you experts in just about any imaginable industry sector, not just the metal industry. And essentially we do it for free. Of course, nothing is entirely for free. What we do expect is that if you hire one of our experts, that you would take care of local accommodation cost, typically in a guest house, local cost of travel, so to and from the airport, to and from the guest house to the workplace, and that you take care of the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of this person. Now, typically for a 2-week project, that should not exceed about 20,000 rand in total. So in that sense, it's a very, very good value proposition, I do believe. Why are we doing that? It's not because we're a commercial organization. We're an organization of volunteers. Our experts are all people that are retired or financially independent, at least, so they don't depend on charging you some enormous fee in euros to make their own living. And yeah, it's obviously something that we cannot offer as a solution to everyone. So therefore, if I can just illustrate here, I believe this is. Can you see the laser pointer? Okay, so with this laser pointer I can show you what we're targeting are the small and medium-sized enterprises, and typically that is an organization that's somewhere between 11 and 250 employees. We don't deal with the micro enterprises, they're really too small. And with the large enterprises and the mega enterprises, we don't want to start competing on an unfair basis with commercial consultants. We believe that these organizations can pay for consultants themselves. So if I look at people represented here, maybe a Columbus Steel. Who of you are from Columbus Steel? So there are a couple of people. Maybe Columbus Steel, do you fit into the just more than 1,000 or just less than 1,000 employees? More than 1,000, mega. There are still ways in which we can be of assistance to you, and that is that we can help you, for example, with your corporate social development. If one of the things that you need to do is enterprise development for your suppliers and so on, that is definitely something that we can do. We've done that for other large corporates such as SAP, the software company. So there are possibilities even with you that you could benefit from us. Why do we particularly focus on small and medium-sized enterprises? Well, you will probably agree they are generally a source of innovation. A lot of new good ideas come from small companies. When Hewlett and Packard started the business known as Hewlett Packard, they started that in their garage, and I think that it's more or less the same with companies like Microsoft and so on. And SMEs supply larger companies with services, so therefore Columbus Steel, think of your supply chain. The SMEs are probably the best source of creating employment. Employment doesn't come so much anymore from the large corporates like it used to, or from the government. And it's a good contributor to the gross domestic product of the country and generating the tax revenue. Now, what we particularly try to do as PUM Netherlands senior experts is to promote growth of employment in the countries that we are active in. Now, how do we work? We work with senior experts, typically people who have gained 30 years or more business experience in a particular line of business. And please remember, it's not only the metals industry. Although that is obviously what we're targeting in today's presentation. They all share their expertise on a voluntary basis, so therefore they don't charge you €1,000 per day for what they're doing. And the program works with entrepreneurs in developing countries, and now South Africa has recently been selected as one of the focus countries. So there's a lot of pressure on the local representatives, myself and my colleagues, to generate projects for PUM Netherlands senior experts in South Africa. What we really are trying to do with our experts is take away those bottlenecks and facilitate your sustainable growth paths within your organization. We are a non-profit organization, founded many years ago, almost 40 years ago, by two Dutch employers organizations, VNO, which stands for Vereniging van Nederlandse Ondernemers, Association of Dutch Entrepreneurs, and the NCW, the Nederlandse Christelijke Werkgevers, the Netherlands Christian Employers Organization. Now, for the years, we've advised far over 33,000 entrepreneurs in 70 countries around the world. And we operate with, like I said, a network of local representatives. That is people like me. It's my duty to find projects for PUM. And we like to work with partners, and that is where we like to see an organization like Sassda. Somebody asked me earlier when we were having our snacks and drinks, is PUM part of Sassda? No, we're not. Is Sassda part of PUM? No, you're not. But we would like to have that partnership with you, that we can be of benefit to each other and find the synergies. We've got about 3,000 of these senior experts on our books, and all in all they provide about 30,000 advisory days per year. So that involves about 2,000 customers across the world in a typical year. And again, in all sectors of the economy. Recently I've done projects in textile, in agriculture, and yes, also the metal industry. And particularly, I need to point out there that we've got 160 experienced senior experts from the metal industry. So what do we offer? Well, for the small and medium-sized enterprise, it's the practical knowledge sharing at the shop floor. We like to promote business links between local SMEs and SMEs in the Netherlands. So I think that is very important for you to understand. The Dutch are historically known for what? Trading, absolutely. So if you want to get my honest opinion of what the real reason is why there is an organization like the Netherlands Senior Experts, is that instead of having the Dutch government offering money to developing countries to spend in whatever way they deem fit, we would like to actually get trade with developing countries, and that can involve you guys exporting to the Netherlands or importing from the Netherlands, and both of those we actually would like to promote as much as possible. We often get questions: do we provide money, funding? No. Small grants, yes, anything up to a couple of thousand rands. If you get an expert helping your organization, and that particular expert can see that with a cash injection of, call it about 5,000 euros, you can lift your business up to the next level, then that expert can motivate it. But it's not much money we're talking about. We're not talking about millions of rands and so on. For business support organizations, and that would be the likes of Sassda, practical knowledge sharing at the business support organization workflow. One of our senior experts, a guy by the name of Paul Dielesen, he actually was out in the month of February, and he assisted an organization that you may also be familiar with, the Gauteng Tooling Initiative. And that has been a very good project. Yeah, so it's a support organization that was helped rather than a particular nuts and bolts enterprise. We can also help with things like seminars and quick scans for member firms. Like Paul's project involved basically visiting 12 of the members of the Gauteng Tooling Initiative. And if we look at vocational training institutes, that could be universities of technology or regular academic universities, we can help them with curricular development, technical assistance. Done a good project in Welkom a couple of years ago, helping the local Technicon there, the vet college there. Also provision of small grants there. And then there are strategic partners and donors that could be things like governments or large corporates and so on. Effective way to help with job creation. Okay, just a couple of examples of work that has been done in the metal industry, and I mean we could quote thousands of projects probably by now. But just to give you an idea of the variety, the diversity. If we take the first one, that was for a sheet metal workshop, and they were into manufacturing, and they were based in Bolivia, in manufacturing of cell phone towers and steel constructions. Now compare that to the one behind, right next to it. the engine overhaul company in the Gambia, the little country in the west coast of Africa that is on the Gambia River and surrounded by Senegal and the Atlantic Ocean. So that is something we can assist with. And in India, a manufacturer of pallet machines. In Cape Town, South Africa, place probably familiar to some of you. Assistance was given to a manufacturer of steel constructions, equipment for mining on and offshore, and then also boiler making. Now, particularly that company in Cape Town, because that's a bit more relevant to us than companies in Bolivia or the Gambia. Yeah, that was a metal workshop of 26 employees, so really the ideal sort of candidate. They manufacture machines and equipment for both on and offshore mining industry, the beers, the diamonds that they get out of the Atlantic Ocean. That is what they were involved in, the beers offshore. Various steel construction. The requirement was advice on expanding and workshop management, managing cash flow, company strategy and marketing. Now, you might ask, what does expanding workshop management, managing cash flow, company strategy and marketing actually have to do with the metal industry? One of the things that we find, especially in a country like South Africa, we don't really need to teach South African entrepreneurs how to do their job. Whatever you manufacture or whatever you service or whatever you repair, you do that pretty well. Well done. But when it comes to real sort of general business skills, that is very often where South African businesses and especially small businesses fall short. So when we say the metal industry, don't just think about the technical side of the metal industry. If you have a fantastic business, but you're struggling to find clients because you don't know how to do marketing. I just visited a business in Brakpan with manufacturers. Well, we don't need to tell you what it manufactures. The problem is to find the clients. Marketing. So we can actually assist you with experts who are experts in marketing, but marketing particularly to the metal industry, not marketing Coca-Cola or trips to Cape Town or anything like that. Other examples of projects that have been run in the metal industry, from fairly large to fairly small. Foundry and casting company in Colombo, Sri Lanka. A technical school in Peru. So that's an example of one of these academic institutions that was held. A very small metal workshop in Bali, in Indonesia. They manufacture small agricultural equipment for basically old-fashioned blacksmith shop. Fix some machinery and so on. And then a massive metal workshop doing steel constructions for the Panama Canal Authority in Panama City in Central America. So an enormous variety. So, how do we take this further? How do you apply for advice? Personally, I would say talk to your local representative directly. You can go onto the website www.pum.nl and create a customer account yourself and so on. But what I often find when people do that, then it arrives in my inbox and I have no idea about this company whatsoever. Can't answer any sensible questions about it, and I get questions from the Netherlands saying, what do these guys do? What precisely do they mean by that? I don't know. they did it themselves. So my preferred method of working is if you want to do an application, contact me directly. I've got my business cards there on the table there in the top corner, and also some brochures that might be of interest. But yeah, you can have a look at the website www.pum.nl. So we move on. That is my email address, and that's me. And I press the arrow down button, but it doesn't do anything. Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
That is all. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Take this.
Are there any questions in the meantime?
No questions?
So, Christoph? Yes.
So this can be anything.
Anything. Okay. Let me
No
qualify anything. And yes, we also take questions from KZN and Western Cape. But the question here in Gauteng is, can it be anything? No. There are certain categories of enterprise that we will not work with. And that is basically dictated by the morals and norms applicable in the Netherlands. If you want to set up a casino, we will not help you with that. If you want to set up a prostitution ring, no, you would compete too much with what we are trying to do in Amsterdam, so we won't help you with that. If you want to set up a marvelous export company in ivory and rhino horn trade and so on, we won't help you with that. If you want to become an arms manufacturer, we won't help you with that. If you believe in helping the youth by giving them opportunities with child labor, we won't help you with that. So anything, yes, but qualified. Other things that we don't get involved.
John?
Yes.
At what stage of the business?
Thank you. That's a very good question. We do like to deal with businesses that have proved staying power. So not a startup, not something that you get together with 10 of your mates and you've got this marvelous idea and you want an expert to come and help you. The reason why we don't do that is that a lot of businesses, small businesses, unfortunately do not survive the first 2 years. And we do not want to make that investment because although you get it for free, there's an investment made by the Dutch government and the employers' organizations in each mission, and they want to see that that is money well spent. So 2-year minimum staying power is really what we're looking at. But again, there are exceptions to that rule as well. And like, for example, there's an amazing incubation hub at Riversands. I don't know if you've seen that or heard of it and so on. Well, they have existed for less than a year, but oh boy, we helped them because we saw the potential there. So, but typically, yeah, 2 years. All right. Our typical.
Can you just repeat the question?
Yes. At what stage do we back off from an organization? A typical PUM mission will take you 2 weeks, 15 days normally, from arrival to departure. Then that expert will carry on having intense contact with you via Skype, via email, etc., to coach you through the next 6 months. If there's a need for a follow-up project, we actually measure our successful projects in the sense that if there's a request for a follow-up project, we know, hey, we've done well. Yeah, so there's a possibility of getting anything up to 3 follow-up projects after the first project, but then the T's and C's become a little bit different in the sense that we may also ask you for a financial contribution, because by then, we would like you to assist us with some of the cost.
I've got a question here from KZN. I'm not checking my Facebook, so I'm on our live WhatsApp group.
Understand?
But it's what do you mean by quick scans for members of Sassda, from Zane at?
Thank you. Very, very good question. I don't know how well you know the Gauteng Tooling Initiative, the client that we've helped just a few weeks ago. What they asked us to do is to take a sample of their members, visit their members, and basically to assist the GTI, to serve their members better. So if Sassda would want to do something like that, we would certainly look at that with great sympathy, having just done something similar. So we can then help you with some of the things that maybe you don't have the resources for.